Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to WhiteDetails. Today in this episode, a stunning green hell magna metallic Mercedes-Benz AMG GTR receives a full body PPF installation with Suntech matte PPF. As you can see, the car already is wearing existing PPF from a previous installation, but sadly there is areas that have failed and some questionable coverage. The new owner of the car, my client, was keen to get the entire car protected and wrapped, but at the same time starting fresh, so the removal of the old PPF ahead of time. And then finishing up lastly with some Modesta coatings for ease of maintenance.
If you saw last week's Spider RS video, the Gentian Blue Spider, in that I mentioned about I'm awaiting delivery of an AMG GTR in Magno Grey. Woo! Imagine my surprise when this beast rolls up in the car park. Timing wise, it is 2:25 in the afternoon already. As you can see, it's pretty warm out. Not ideal. The car left Glasgow around that region. Early doors this morning, 4:20, with a view to get here for 8:30 in the morning. Perfect. But sadly they got caught in traffic because of an RTC, a collision. Didn't get here till 10:30. I had the Spider picked up recently at 12 o'clock. It's taken me just over 2 hours to remove the previous PPF installation. But I'm going to get the filter going now on the pressure washer, the water resin filter. Whip the wheels off, flush, clean, cleanse, decontaminate, back inside, and then we'll take it from there. Colour-coded valve caps gone on. It's my way of identifying near side front, offside front, near side rear, offside rear, if you didn't know already. The Merc is finally on the ramp. It's been a long day, pretty tough going actually, as a wash and decon goes. 10 to 8 now, I'm just packing up and finishing off the day. I've just sent the client a video update on WhatsApp. To me, the film wasn't put on the car straight away. There are certain stone chips which have been touched over already. That one hasn't. There's one on the very edge here, but we're talking pinheads. These are really small. There's actually a scratch here that you can get a nail to. Chip on the near side, offside A-pillar, one on the rear arch. Obviously this was an area that didn't have any PPF. Chip on the door. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Under here, 2, 3, under here, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lots of tacky adhesive left over. I don't know what the film was. Fresh one on the door, here, here. Little scratch on the door. A-pillar. Also a scratch here. Near side, rear quarter. Difficult to see unless you're in certain lights. To me, I believe this rear bumper has been painted. A few signs. There's a little crack here. Top corner here, there's a little blister. I really don't think you would have this on OEM paint. You can see how water is getting trapped. Flaky paint. You can see under the plastic there, it's starting to flake. Oh, the stone chipping down the bottom. But look at the green on the plastic. And then finally down here, which is not nice to see, there is lacquer peel, which we didn't know about. So that is a discussion that the customer and I are having at the minute. What is best to do about that? The sticky residue, this is all over the front end and in the panel gaps, all of this, I can feel it's full of sticky adhesive, which it's had a promoter, an adhesive promoter like Edge Prep on these areas. Feels horrible. So lots of cleaning up to be done before we go ahead and put film over the top. And then this is another touch-up, a weird one. Not sure what might have gone on here, but someone's been here before. There's a few more bits here and there, but I feel like you get the gist for now. I'm done, I'm baked, I'm ready for a bite to eat and a shower. So I'm back in tomorrow. I'm going to start with the PPF with the gloss sections, the mirrors, the side skirts, the headlights, that sort of stuff. Get on the plotter, get on to Core, which is the software for PPF, and then we'll think about what the rest of the week has in store. that is the gloss sections down, I think, with the exception of the roof. The roof still needs doing. But we're moving on to the matte now, the green body sections. Check me out. Idea being, I'm trying to gain access to the last bolt here to remove the rear lens. That's going to allow me to add a wrap about there, 10mm off the point, to go underneath, which will then sit flush all the way across, and then start here again, and then follow. It just means we lose that entire edge. Might need a bit of a relief here because of the corner. And then at the same time, we're able to add a wrap under the lens so that we just lose quite a large section of edge work. But it's meant removing a bit of sound deadening, the subwoofer, all this stuff, various bits and bobs and bolts. But I feel like this is very much a worthwhile thing to do. And at the same time, up on the roof, removing the roof rail, which as you can see is full of dirt which needs flushing out, to allow a wrap down all the way across, which will continue pretty much all the way down to the very bottom now. So we'll lose this entire edge up top. No exposed edges. Happy days with these kick plates, by the way, they look beautiful. And then also, although the door is a wrapped pattern which allows for the back edge and the bottom to be wrapped, because access is obviously an issue at the front once you open the door, the template is just an unwrapped edge all the way down. But to be honest, with the door hinged all the way back, you can get 3 fingers sort of down to this point. So what I'm going to do, 4 centimeters or 1.5 inches off the top corner there, add a wrap in, and then that will continue down, and then 1.7 inches, 5 centimeters from the bottom. At this point, add another wrap, so it's going to be exposed, wrapped, exposed, wrapped, and then around the back in the mirror. I'll show you what that looks like on the screen. So you can see the back edge of the door here. This is a relief cut for the back edge of the door to be wrapped, and then it follows the edge of the door and wraps again down the bottom. That's for the door handle. This is for the wind mirror. And then the turquoise line down here, look, you can see 1.7 inches from the bottom. We then go out, steps out, and then 1.4 from the top. It comes back in again. So that's a wrapped / edited wrapped panel. So on this cutboard we have the offside door, which we're just looking at, offside front wing, offside rear quarter, and that hopefully is gonna just go. But also what I've done is I've edited the nodes here, so you can grab these and go whoop, whoop. Control Z. And that allows that top edge of the rear quarter to be wrapped all the way to the point. But what I also want to do, looking at that from that corner down to the bottom there, it doesn't look as though that's going to be there to there. But what I'm interested in really is there's a good inch of paintwork at the back here. Maybe I'll do some measuring of what the width of the pattern is on the template versus this in real life. Very difficult to do one-handed, but that's roughly 2.5 inches. Ruler tool, ruler, point, 2.9. Oh yeah, it looks like it wraps over the back anyway. That does take into account 2.9. Cool. Saves me a job. So I just need to finally check then what I'm going to do on the rear here for the fuel filler cap. There's enough room there. Or is that minimal at the top? Look, minimal amount of room to actually wrap that. But we can pop this off just to make life easier. I might, from this point, I might add some more material just to give me a custom trim because of the weather strip here. That's not really ideal to wrap to this back edge because you're going to be left with a massive air pocket there. So this wants to come off, and then make the trim where my fingernail is. So add 1/2 inch of material there, just to give a customer mount, into the door, requiring some touch-ups. Continue removing the lens cluster, add the wrap on the software to accommodate that. That's all good. Wing, there's nothing behind there, there's no material. I wouldn't be surprised if that's an unwrapped back edge, and I think that needs to stay unwrapped, to be honest. And then in the back here, this wants to be wrapped. Now all the adhesive promoters stripped and removed. And again with this wing, I'm going to add from that point to this point, I'm going to add 1/2 inch of material just to completely cover this edge and then make a manual trim as neat and as tidy and tight to the edge as possible. Okay, good job I checked that. There's a couple of front wings, a couple of front wings available. This is the wing I had selected, and it doesn't look as though, yeah, unwrapped. It's not a wrapped panel for some reason. But these, it's not wrapped in the back edge. You can see in the top point here, it then drops into the engine bay, and at least that edge is wrapped. And that now allows me to take these nodes, pull that down 1/2 inch or so. It's going to be trimmed anyway. Select this lot, pull them down to join, grab this little fella, pull him out, find them two, pull them out. But that's going to allow me to wrap fully the wheel arch edge, which is prone to stone chips. All that is what it is. I can't really do much to that. Rearrange this, see what else we can fit on it, and then send it to the plotter. What I also wanted to do, and I've pointed out to the customer, the light cluster is actually chafing look on the body, so that now not only allows us to wrap these edges, but I can do a little touch up because that much of the chip is actually left visible when the light's back in. Good morning, WhiteDetails.
Good morning, it's Rob calling from Plan.com regarding your Vodafone account. How are you doing today?
From where, sorry?
Plan.com. The reason I'm calling you today is to review tariffs to see if you can improve it for you and save your money.
It's not something I'm interested in. Thank you for the call.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. Bye, driver. Bye. Bye. As you can see, adding this much material is it's a little bit overkill considering got best part of 3/4 of an inch spare, but it just allows me, as I say, to make that consistent trim as opposed to worrying about a line that's sort of zigzagging all the way around. In my phone.
As well, I realise that I'm super lucky. Lots of people would kill to do what I do for a try to be upfront and honest with you all that, well, it can be very lonely at times.
Hello,
Hosted by two, well, I mean, no. I'm Sam from the YouTube channel.
I'm Tony from Brabham's Car Sales. Time is 1:05. I'm pleased with that. I've got the offside front wing, the door, which is still drying out down the bottom here. You always get a lot of moisture. This area takes, well, overnight really to dry out before I can fully wrap that. Nice little wrap inside the door, look. No problem at all. Comes up there to the top. And then here, look, just ventures back out. That needs addressing. That's just gone off centre there. That needs a little work. Got the fuel filler to sort out. This is lovely and clean. A small tiny relief cut there on the door for the edge of the door wrap as it goes down, up over the top, and then as we look on the inside of the channel, you can see the wrapped edge from here all the way down to the very bottom. This needs some work because of this wavy line, the beading of the weather strip. Look, the PPF is just one straight line, but obviously here's an issue. Straight line, straight line, straight line, and then all of this is an issue for the time being, so I need this to dry out. And then these little tab areas will just have a little trim up over the top and down, up over the top. And then here, this is all nice and clean. That's gonna need a little bit of work, but as per the bottom of the door, I'm just waiting for this to dry out so I can get that fully wrapped. It might go now. Give that an hour, get that all tucked. So I shall sort the petrol filler and then get back on the laptop. Back in, not quite as early in this morning, it's 7:30. Yesterday was a 6:30 start and an 8:30 p.m. finish, just on the basis that there's a lot still to do. I've got a deadline to work to. I lost half a day because the car was delayed and various other bits going on. So it's just one of them, you gotta do what you gotta do. So whilst it was a long day, I do feel as though it was a productive day in the end. Got the carbon fibre kick plates manually covered in the door sills, wings, doors, quarters, both sides. Today's plan is to get on the laptop, get the hatch, the boot system nested, plotted and weeded and installed. So boot and bonnet, and then get the bumpers prepped and the side skirts on the laptop as well. But for me now, the next half an hour, I'm actually running the wheels of the Merc to my local shop. PB Powder Coatings, my wheel refurbishment guys. They're a tyre stockist as well. And as you can see, the AMG's tyres, they haven't got a great deal of meat left, and the car is due to go on a big European road trip in about 3 weeks' time. So whilst the car is here, it absolutely makes sense, and with the wheels being off, to run the tyres to the shop and then crack on the laptop for the back end. It is now the weekend. Funny turn of events, really. Don't even know what day it was. Thursday. I ended up having to go home and lay my head down for a couple of hours. I had a bug, a sickness bug, possibly food poisoning. So the back end on the tailgate on the hatch was a challenge. I tried my best. I felt dizzy, weak, faint, sick, not good. So that, a bit of a knock-on effect and then more time out of the job, sadly. So I've got today and tomorrow to get finished off. The bonnet, a one-piece bulk installation, quite the challenge. It's a really wide, large, long bonnet. The film is only 60 inches wide, which is pretty much the widest part of the bonnet anyway. So you've got to really get a good stretch across the back, the front, to get a decent coverage. And nicely wrapped on the underside. Managed to get a nice job in here as well, underneath the vent. That's going to sit down there really quite well. Relief cut at the top, done manually. Also got the roof down. I don't think I got the camera out for the roof, but that is wrapped over the front edge, and then down the back I added a nice 7 or 8 mil wrap down this side. And it's nearing lunchtime Saturday, and I'm waiting on the arrival of a previous customer. Had the Opel Manta, which was an episode late 2022 perhaps. They've now bought a new GR86 and it's booked in the diary for July for a full body PPF, but they're desperate to get out this weekend and show the mates the new car. But they themselves have spotted there's overspray on the glass, and you think, oh, it's a brand new car, something somewhere has been happening. There shouldn't be overspray on a new car, but it's just popping in to sort that issue out, and then it'll be back in the earliest appointment. AMG wise, I have the rear bumper still, that is here, that's yet to go down. Got 1 or 2 assorted trim pieces. These long sections are for the roof rails, and the wheels are back. I've got some fresh rubber, some Pilot Sport Cup 2s. Best part of £2,000. Thank you kindly. Sorry about the earlier footage that was really quite grainy. The aperture was really high, which bumped up the ISO, which makes it a bit pixelated and grainy. I didn't realise I was shooting at the aperture. I was. But get the GR86 sorted and on the way. Tackle the wheels, start on the rear bumper. I've got next week's 992 Targa being dropped off at some point this afternoon, so that can either sit here or through next door. And then its interior, its exhaust, its door shuts, its final checks for the PPF. It is coatings, wheels, calipers, engine, all that good stuff. Get the lights back in, of course. And they're down here. Busy, busy. Also, come on Ian, you're late. You said you'd be here at 1:45. It's 10:02. Modesta BCO4 is now down, infrared curing process has started. There's a small list of jobs still to do. Yesterday I ran into a problem. I had my arse kicked. The wheels for the AMG have been away, as you know, for new tyres, best part of £2,000 worth. I then bought them back, got them washed off and sort of cleansed ready ahead of coatings, which would have been a job for today. But I soon discovered that a couple of the wheels, they've been poorly refurbished, and a product I've used on thousands of wheels, every single job, every single week for the tar removal process. Sadly, as you'll see in the footage, it's tarnished and stained the wheels. It's a cheap lacquer, something's not good, it's a cheap repair. You can see the blend marks on the edge of the diamond cut lip, which is actually painted. They're not good, and I've just ran into that problem. There's no point in coating them now, they're gonna look awful. I can't shift the staining. Never happened before. I've taken it on the chin. I'm just doing what I can to work with the customer is the main thing at the minute. Naturally, they need refurbing again. So it's just whether my guys, the wheel guys, PV powder coatings, whether they can accommodate me. Very last minute, first thing tomorrow morning, the client AMG up in Glasgow has got a Vauxhall Corsa hire car to drive down. Should be dropped off tomorrow, picked up in the morning. Then they're using the car later in the week on Friday to go out to Palma on a 4,000 mile European road trip. So there's deadlines, timescales, lots of things to consider. And I don't know yet, I can't get in contact with the wheel guys if they can accommodate us in the first place. So it's all gone a bit downhill and feel a little bit deflated, actually. But that aside, couldn't really be happier with the rest of the job. On a whole, this job's kicked me arse. It's a lot of work on your own, but the wheel situation's just like, oh. So BCO4 keyring now, got the glass to tackle, get some of the vents all back together. I think I've shown this already, but the back end is all back together and in one piece. The little area that was touched up behind the lenses, all the carpeting back in, subwoofer. It needs a courtesy vac and a wipe. Get this, good work. Someone's had a go at them. Get the registration plate surrounds back on. And then first thing in the morning, I look forward to getting started on Basel Black 911 Targa and 992 Targa 4 GTS. If you remember in the last episode, the Blue Spider, there was a test piece of PPF I put onto the wing to show the Spider client's friend, which is this fella out here, show them the healing properties of PPF. And as soon as they saw that, they were sold. They were like, book me in. Perfect. They've gone for new car prep. It's done a few hundred miles now. Single stage polish. Modesta BCO4, BCO6 for the rim face. The wheels aren't coming off. And then an extended front end PPF install. This needs a final trim as well. That's an area that I was leaving to dry out before trimming it back so it matches. This certainly is a nice finish. Just about to bring the Targa inside, and look at this, brand new. Another Porsche with factory holograms. The owner wasn't aware of this at first. A little bit new to the whole surface prep and polishing. It's actually difficult to get people's eyes to actually see what you're trying to show them. You're looking into the paint, not at the paint. That makes sense? Got the top there as well. Well, there we go. full PPF complete, Modesto over the top. I'm a bit gutted actually, the wheels situation. The bad wheels are on the offside now. Sadly, I wasn't able to schedule them to be done this week coming, tomorrow, Monday. It was all a little last minute. So I'm actually gonna ask for recommendations on behalf of the owner for trusted quality wheel refurbishment centres around Glasgow, if that's at all possible. If there's any recommendations, please drop them in the comment section down below. Other than that, yeah, it's quite the job. I'm very happy with the level of coverage, the removal of the rear tail lights, the vents and the bonnet, the custom kick plates inside the doors, some nice little added extras onto the job. And I've just discovered I've got a blister on my middle finger. That will be from the removal process earlier in the week. Just on the wheels again, maybe I wish, in hindsight, wonderful thing, I wish I'd paid more attention at closer inspection to the wheels ahead of the usual wash process. I just got stuck in as per any other set of wheels that passes through these doors. There were decent clumps of real stubborn baked on tar on the inner rims of the wheels, and obviously whilst the wheels are still wet, you're a little bit none the wiser to what's going on until things start to dry out. But they've had a poor, cheap, low quality refurb, and the lacquer has failed. You wouldn't get that on standard OEM manufacturer rims. I'll be using the same product on the Targa first thing tomorrow morning. So be sure to find WhiteDetails over on Instagram for daily behind the scenes and updates. Subscribe to the channel here on YouTube if you're not already. Give the video a like as well if you've enjoyed. Leave me your comments. I'm gonna go out on the bike now. It's a beautiful, glorious evening. In fact, I'd like to get the car outside. Enjoy the after footage. Take care. See you next time.